introducing ourselves, and we are part of the IVLP program. Today we're going to have different kind of countries with us. As a representation, we are going to start by Julian from Argentina.
Good day to everyone, or I will say hola to all the Spanish speakers from Vermont state. I am Julian, I am from Argentina, and we are very happy of being here in the US, knowing about this country. We are a group of 21 people, maybe some less during these last days. We are visiting different institutions from the US judicial system from different states. And my partner Daniel from Uganda will speak about our trip and what we are doing here.
Thank you very much. My name is Daniel Ruhweza. I'm a senior lecturer at the University of Makerere in Kampala, Uganda. Very honored to be part of the IVLP program. We've been here for almost 3 weeks now. We've visited different spaces in Washington, D.C., California. A group went to Cleveland and we went to Iowa. We're here to study what is going on with the judicial system. We're here to study what's going on with the political system and how accountability is done. We've learned a lot, and hopefully we'll take a few ideas back home to convince our leaders there to do a better job. Thank you. Over to you, Ban.
Hi, my name is Ban. I'm from Iraq. I'm a senior court interpreter. I'm one of 2 female interpreters, and I'm also a college professor in Al Iraqiya University. I'm an interpreter by nature, and at the same time, I teach English language for law students. And here, it was actually an amazing experience. It's been like 3 weeks, 21 days specifically. We were in Washington, D.C., we went to LA, we went to Cleveland, and now we're in Vermont. Each and every city have an amazing experience, and there's different kind of courthouses that we visit. And honestly, there's a lot of fruitful information and knowledge that we actually can grasp from, and also to integrate it with our own knowledge and also within our own country laws. It was a really amazing experience, and now I'm going to give the floor to my colleague. He would also introduce us to different kind of experience, things that he learned. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. I'm Predrag Đurić. I'm a public prosecutor from Republic of Serbia. I'm also certified fraud examiner and anti-money laundering specialist. So there is not much else to say, but we all want to give really big thanks to all the people that made this possible. And I want to say that I'm very excited and happy to be the part of this group and this organization.
Thank you, everyone, for having us here, and we wish that we already gave you a nice, let's say, preview on who we are and which program that we joined. And thank you so much for having us, for the CCTV Camera Center for having us, and also for giving us this opportunity to introduce ourselves on live TV. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, everyone, again. So today I have 2 of my colleagues who will actually talk about their experience and the different kind of concepts within our visit here and the different kind of states. We have visited Washington, LA, Cleveland, and Vermont. And now I'm gonna leave it with Daniel to introduce himself and also to talk about his experience.
Wrong guy. Daniel's on
I know.
on your other side.
Okay, that was kind of a joke. Go ahead, Daniel.
All right. I think for me, just visiting Washington, D.C. and looking at the history of the constitutional journey that the country has gone through, the founders of the Constitution, visiting the Washington Monument, learning about how all this came about and how far they have gone in developing their ideas of separation of powers, justice, accountability, the intricate political system amongst the states, and how each state has a different constitution and how they have all contributed to the United States of America as we know it. That for me was such a great experience of learning.
Which state exactly that you find it more closer to your, let's say, culture, the food, let's say the knowledge, like what place, for example, universities? Like there's a lot of places that we have been through, so what do you think?
That's probably difficult because I come from Africa and this is a totally different community. The experiences are geared by the fact that most of these states were created by people who came from Europe.
Yes.
And therefore they come with unique cultures, unique food, unique ways of life. I could say that from Uganda we have been able to borrow the ideas of constitutionalism, the ideas of government and separation of powers, that we can liken. The food is obviously different.
Yes, of course.
It's a good experience to taste the food.
Yes.
But really there's a lot of difference. Maybe there's corn, which we call maize.
Yes.
Beans and things
Languages
like that.
it's different.
Yeah. We speak English.
Yes.
Of course, our English is more inspired by Britain than by the United States. And so there are those similarities. But by and large, for me, it's just the fact that you have a lot of inspiration from the American governance system, from their political system, to inspire what we are doing and maybe do our thing much better.
How about we come together and see what Dan thinks? The right guy now.
It's been a great time. I've enjoyed my experiences here. I would say, definitely Washington, D.C. was definitely a great experience. Learning about, as Daniel said, the history and the traditions that have come out of the American experience was quite interesting. But I think so far my favorite city so far was definitely Los Angeles. Just in terms of the depth of engagement that we had with the different aspects of state and federal government, state, local, and federal government that we got to engage with. So it's been a great time. It's been an interesting almost 21 days now, 19 days.
Yeah, exactly.
There's all sorts you learn in the world, and America is nothing short of all of the diversity of the world.
Yeah,
Daniel, maybe just the fact that we both teach constitutional law in our different universities, I think what comes out so interesting is the fact that there's a lot of election for public offices. So to be a county, I think sheriff, to be a U.S. district attorney general and so on, you have to be voted. To be an auditor general, you must be voted.
Yes, elections.
Yeah, that is quite unique compared to probably back home where we have the executive appointing many of these offices.
Yeah. I think the idea that people should participate in government as far as possible is what kind of motivates or underlies a lot of the choices that have been made on who gets elected, who gets appointed, and all of that. And obviously, look, each system has its drawbacks, and we know that. The American system is not without its flaws, but it has been interesting to kind of understand and learn about how the selection process works for people who, we expect to be impartial, fair, and have integrity. And I think it works for America because of its history. But I think there are things we are here to learn how to do and things we are here to learn how not to do. And I definitely think that, for me, that's one of the things that I would, leave to the Americans.
Ban, what do you think?
So the two cultures, like I come from Iraq, and the two cultures are basically different. But at the same time, there's a different kind of similarities. I could see there's a lot of, let's say, flavors in the restaurants. I could see Lebanese, I could see Iraqi restaurants, Indian restaurants. And regarding the judicial systems, it's basically like different regarding our federal court. Our federal court actually, let's say, is simulated from 3 judges. While here we have judges, we have juries. So to be honest, it's really interesting to know the different flavors of law, regulations, the stipulations. And also you mentioned that the election parts.
Yes.
Like there's a lot of elected, let's say, parties, there's a lot of elected people in their positions. In my country, it's basically different. They are being appointed. And that's literally like the difference. Here, I could feel like there is more and more, let's say, to grasp as knowledge and as information. And if you ask me which state was, let's say, the thing that is closest to my heart, to be honest, each and every one have a specific flavor in my heart, like DC, for example, or LA, or let's say Cleveland, or Vermont. Each and every city, I loved different kind of meetings. the flavor of the meeting, the narrative, the places, even the malls and the shops and the people, different kind of flavors of people, culture, ethics. The variety is really beautiful.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, and maybe going into the legalese, into the legal work that is being done. I thought the work that is being done by the Attorney General of Vermont and her department is quite unique, especially as far as innovation is concerned. I was particularly impressed by the fact that they have been able to pass the transitional justice law, which is supposed to kind of divert from the mainstream criminal justice process. Yeah. And I thought that was quite interesting to see the Attorney General, the government coming through to say, well, criminal processes have so much that they can do, but we should also be able to find ways of pushing for transitional justice. And I know down in South Africa, you have Bishop Desmond Tutu pushing for this Truth and Reconciliation Commission. I don't know what your thinking is around that idea.
Well, Bishop Desmond Tutu passed away, R.I.P. But yes, so we've had attempts. We've had an opportunity to kind of engage in restorative justice projects like the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, and of course, you know, it's an ongoing process. And actually, today, the government of South Africa announced yet another you know, process of like talking about where we are and where we're going. And I definitely think that there is a place for, you know, the restorative justice system and the restorative or other alternative approaches to securing justice. And I think it's quite important that the Attorney General, who's tasked with criminal prosecution, is also open to this idea.
True.
Because ultimately, you know, if one of the aims of criminal punishment is restoration and rehabilitation, then we should not just, you know, focus on the punitive side, which casts people out of society. So I thought that was quite useful as well. But as you said, the Attorney General's office is quite interesting, just to see the scope of work that she does, because of just the structure and how small of a state Vermont is. And so it was very interesting to see that the role includes what we would ordinarily expect of a prosecutor, but also some policy-making powers that prosecutors in our countries don't necessarily have.
That's true,
And by the way, guys, have you noticed something? The three of us are college professors. Different countries,
quite interesting.
I know, that's good.
Quite interesting. I guess that is why we are so interested in some of the things that are not just being done, but the policies that are being
policies that have been made.
I mean, look at LA. You know, there was this presentation regarding victims.
That's right.
And persons that struggle, that are affected by crime.
Of course.
And I saw something similar as well in Vermont, whereby in LA, I think there is this whole office that is supporting victims and supporting those who have suffered as a result of crime. Vermont seems to be having something similar as a result. And I think that would be something we could continue to, you know, to explore. What I find interesting is the fact that in most common law legal processes, we don't necessarily consider the victim and what the victim should be helped. It's normally the state against the accused person. But to see the focus being shifted to the victim and supporting the victim, I think that is that is worth learning, and that is something that we should.
And by the way, allow me to say this. Like I know we have a lot of things that we would definitely learn. So how about now we go back learn more about Vermont, and we would say goodbye to the screen.
And we need to say happy birthday to each and everyone who's had a birthday during this
Happy
period.
birthday, yes. Happy birthday to everyone. So let's clap for them.
Yes, happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.